As a family, we've lost 380 pounds.
Stick around and you'll find out how.
I am Mary Beth Anderson, and this is
Ben.
And between me and Ben and our daughter Emily, we have lost a combined total of 380 pounds following our bariatric surgeries.
How did we do that?
Well, my weight loss journey started in 2017. I had a gastric bypass. At that point, I did lose over 100 pounds. In the interim, I had a baby, and or I guess we had a baby, and stopped losing weight. So got stuck at a specific weight and stayed there, which was okay. I was fine. I was happy. But Ben was not happy with his weight. So, and neither was Emily. So we started looking into options for the both of them. And then we found Dr. Moore with minimally invasive surgery in Fort Lauderdale, and he was able to operate on all three of us. Emily and Ben both had vertical sleeve gastrectomy in October of 2022, and in December, Dr. Moore found that I had a hiatal hernia, and also was able to correct that and correct my previous surgery so that I was able to continue to lose weight.
So Emily was our guinea pig. She had her surgery October the 14th of last year, 22. I had mine on October the 21st, a week after. And then Mary Beth had hers on December 2nd of 22. We put the kid first just in case anything bad went wrong. Then
No, we didn't. The kid's the one that got it all started for us.
that is true. You know, it's kind of unique because we did it in a family. We actually did it about 40-something days apart. I forget exactly what it was. But right now, Emily's 173 days out, or 24 weeks and 5 days. I'm 23 weeks and 5 days, and Mary Beth's 17 weeks and 5 days. I didn't really see any cons with the whole family doing it. There was a whole lot of pros because other than Emily, myself and Mary Beth kind of knew what to expect. You know, kind of the timeline in the hospital for Emily, she didn't seem to have a whole lot of problem. In the hospital, I had a lot of problem with the gas that they used to expand your abdomen. And getting rid of that gas that was up in my chest and in my shoulders was at times excruciating. But once that settled and got past that, pretty much that was the end of it, the end of the pain anyway.
For
For me. A whole lot of learning to go on after that. I'll let Mary Beth kind of explain what some of her problems were with after the surgery.
I don't really think I had a whole lot of problems after the surgery. The first surgery that I had in 2017, I didn't have any complications. I was able to lose 120 pounds at that point. And since December, I've been able to lose another 45 pounds. And it's just all of us focusing together we've been really able to help each other, and being that we're all doing it together, there's nobody eating anything differently other than Harper.
Who ate more pizza tonight than what me and Mary Beth did.
Cauliflower pizza.
Yeah.
But with venison, which venison has a lot of protein, which we weren't sure, we didn't know about that. Let's see.
So how much have you lost?
In grand total, I've lost 163 pounds.
And I'm down 107 pounds since October, and Emily's down
108, I think. Yeah, 108 pounds.
And that's
and she's only 20 pounds from her goal, and you're only about
29 pounds from my goal. They want my goal weight to be 230. This morning I was 259, And when I started this, I was 370,
370.
368 to 370. And so quite a bit of difference. And it's affected a lot of things. It's affected the way that we prep. Most preppers, they store up a lot of high energy, so it's high caloric and high carbohydrates food, high protein. We do still keep the high protein.
That is a part of the diet that we will always have to maintain, because with not getting enough protein, number one, it stalls your weight loss, and there's other complications you can have, like your hair falling out, for instance. So we really have to focus on protein. The first couple weeks after surgery, each of us did protein shakes, and now we are incorporating high protein foods. So in the first 3 months, we were told to stay away from seafood, or I guess shellfish. Mm-hmm. But mostly he told us to do a Mediterranean diet. And with that was a lot of chicken, fish, and you really focus on your protein. So sides and things like that, you don't really, you can have a few bites of salad, but you really got to get your protein in. So like Ben and I both are on 90 to 100 grams of protein a day. I think Emily's 80. But sometimes that can be hard.
Well, especially considering before surgery, he said that my stomach volume was about 80 ounces, which is two 2-liter Coke bottles or soft drink bottles. And now it's 6 ounces. 8 ounces. So, if you sit down at a table and you've got 8 ounces to put in you, then you want to try to make it as beneficial to you as possible. And for us, that's protein. That's all you have. So if you drink 8 ounces of fluid, then your stomach is full and you're not going to do anything else. So there is kind of a rhyme to go with the reason on how to eat and how to drink properly as well.
Yeah, there's a learning curve to it. You do want to eat and not drink for 30 minutes after you eat, because that will just push the food directly on through. And then now with our particular surgeon, he removes the part of the stomach that produces the hunger hormone. So when that is removed, and especially I don't think Ben has felt hungry since the surgery. I know Emily and I have, but sometimes I wonder if my hunger pain is more like a head hunger. If I'm really not hungry. I know that there's times that both of us can forget to eat, which is weird coming from two fat people. Especially coming from people who cook
and like to eat.
So that's been a big learning curve, to not necessarily feel hungry, but know that you need to eat because you've got to get your protein in.
And no alcohol. There was no alcohol for the first 90 days. And I figured at the end of 90 days, why go back? I was a big beer drinker, and haven't had any alcohol since the surgery, October the 14th. So
I never was a drinker. I have epilepsy, which I have medications that I take, so I don't. I had drinks here and there, but I haven't had anything.
Yep.
Yeah, I just don't. And with the size of your stomach after you've had bariatric surgery, you drink one drink and you are drunk. So it just wasted calories. There's no reason to drink after.
Yeah, I figured,
surgery.
It's like you don't go out and say, hey, I'm going to start smoking today. So I had stopped for 3 months and I didn't really see any reason to start back. Just my own personal opinion. But it's changed our life. It's changed the way that we've eaten. Certainly changed the clothes that we wear. We go through clothes quite a bit now. But also
we go through Goodwill quite a bit now.
On the prepping side of things, it's really changed the way that we prep. Unfortunately, kind of for us, because of the foods that we have to eat, we rely on a freezer a lot, which I understand on the SHTF scenario that's not a real good thing to rely on. So we still do have the regular prepping supplies for food. So at that point, if things get to that point, then really maintaining our diet comes secondary to being alive and to eating, just putting something into our bodies. But it kind of hurts with the rotation of things. So, before we would have the high energy, high caloric, high carbohydrates foods, and then we would kind of cycle through them. But now we don't cycle through them because it's not part of our normal diet.
Yeah.
So,
So my stockpile should be probably a lot given away because we just can't go through it like we would have went through it before. And even though I had the surgery prior, I was still cooking for them normally, and I just ate smaller portions of whatever I cooked. Now we all have to follow like a low carb, high protein, and try to do under 1,000 calories a day. And that's until we get to where we each want to be. And at that point, then you kind of can start adding starches and you can start adding carbs a little bit at a time. But I think you can eat something one day and it not bother you, and then eat it again the next day and it bother you. So just watching what we are able to eat, like sugar-wise, or sometimes we can drink coffee and feel fine, and sometimes we can drink coffee and feel sick. So that's been another thing too, especially because we love to travel, and we've started our channel with our pop-up camper as well. And we really have to put a lot of thought into what we pack and what we prepare while we're camping. I have invested in some Augustin Farms. They do have a vegetarian ground beef
Tastes just like
substitute,
hamburger.
which tastes great, and it has the caloric content is way less than a regular ground beef. So we use that quite a bit. We just started eating venison, and we are enjoying that. We do a lot of chicken. We couldn't do pork the first 90 days because it can be dry, and it can, especially after the sleeve, it can cause, because it's chewy, and it can cause some problems getting that down. So, and that's the same way with red meat. And on the Mediterranean diet, you need to watch the red meat anyway. So
it's been a journey. It's been a journey for the diets. It's been a journey for the whole family having surgery within the span of a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, we did surgery in October, surgery in December, traveling. I was only 10 days out when we went to New York, and that got a little difficult. But that's okay. We did it.
We did it, and we got through it, and we're better off for it.
Yeah.
So, but it does change the way that you prep. It changes your diet. It changes everything about you. And we did it as a family, and that's how we grew stronger together. All of us going through the same experience at the same time, and able to lean on each other while we're going down that road.
Yeah.
So, if you have an opportunity, if you have any questions, let us know below. If you have an opportunity to go through and experience something like this, just know that, a lot of people has called it the easy way out with going through the surgery. It certainly isn't the easy way out.
It's certainly because it doesn't change the ideas in your mind. Like, you have all these years of being able to eat whatever you wanted, and now all of a sudden that changes, but your mind doesn't change. So you'll see something and think, wow, that really looks good. And it's not even that you're hungry, because like I said, the hormone, the part of the stomach that produces the hormone, is now gone for all three of us, the hunger hormone. So we're not even necessarily hungry. It's just the idea that we would like to eat chocolate cake, and it's just all of that's been cut out. So I love to bake bread. I love to use my bread machine and bake bread. I haven't been able to do that. I was only able to do that when my dad was here so that they can enjoy it. It really, as far as for me, it's affected me with them eating differently because I always cooked for them. Even though I didn't eat the same way they did, I was able to cook my big Southern meals for them, and I just can't do the same thing anymore. So almost sometimes I feel like I don't even want to cook, which is very different for me.
Very bad for me too.
Very different. But we're finding things to substitute. We've switched over to cauliflower crust pizza. We are, I start my day with a protein-rich oatmeal. He starts his day with eggs. I mean, we have our farm fresh eggs, so we utilize eggs a lot. We utilize the vegetables in our garden. We, at the 90 days mark with our plan with Dr. Moore, you could start adding back in a little bit of carb or starch. So we were able to add back the occasional potato, and we have been able to add back the occasional starchy vegetable. And he even tells you, you know, it's okay to have a cheat day sometimes. He has cheat days himself, but we just get right back to it if we've cheated a little bit, or, you know, we just get back. It's just so difficult because you have so many years of being able to just eat like you wanted. And that was something that I went through back in 2017. So I did this alone, and it was very difficult for them. Not that they weren't supportive, but it was very difficult for them to understand, even after the surgery, how you don't feel hungry, but your belly just feels empty. So I had said that before, and Emily said that, and then Ben had the surgery, and he was like, I know exactly what you're talking about now, because you just feel empty. And I don't feel like even the shakes felt like it filled that emptiness.
Correct. It didn't, but it's just you got to do it. You got to get them down, and you got to get the right amount of protein, the right amount of vitamins, and all do it within the 6 ounces. So it is 8 ounces.
Yeah.
It is very
In the
difficult.
first couple of weeks, it was way less than 8 ounces. It was sips at a time, little bitty cups. They send you home with little medicine cups just to sip your protein shakes out of. And then, you know, you will go 10 days or a week of, with our particular plan, we went like a week of liquids, and then, which really got annoying too, because everything is sweet at that point unless you want to drink chicken broth. So we did like a shake in the morning, and the rest of the day was Jello or chicken broth, or trying to think of other things, popsicles. So it got to be and Gatorade, Gatorade Zero or whatever that was called.
The sugar-free Gatorade.
Yeah, it got to be super overwhelming with the sweet. And actually, Emily was ready just to pull her hair out at about the 7th day. So, and then once it came to the time where we could add soft foods back in, cream of wheat was a
My
big
first
deal.
soft food, I ate a hard-boiled egg. I got half of it down and felt like I had been at Ryan's for 3 weeks.
Ryan's is an all-you-can-eat buffet.
It's very strange how your head messes with you.
Yeah. And then I think my first soft meal was, this is going to sound so crazy, but it was cream of wheat with a little bit of sugar-free ketchup because everything had been so sweet before that. So it was hard. We looked up a lot of recipes. Emily and I tried a lot of things. Like I said, she got to about the 6th day and she was crying and ready to pull her hair out, but I finally figured out a protein shake that she could get down that she didn't mind. And then we were able to progress our diet. So now when we go out, I mean, when we went out before, Ben and I would always share because I had an 8-ounce stomach back then. So we would always share. I don't know that he liked it as much as I did, but now, I mean, I think the 3 of us could share. So Harper, the 4-year-old, can definitely eat more than we all can now.
Absolutely.
And it's just weird. It's a different type of lifestyle, especially when it comes to homesteading and prepping, because with the preps, you're carb focused, you're carb heavy, and I understand that because you need the calories, but it's also, we can't be that. I mean, we just can't. We can't do rice. We can't do rice because it just expands in your stomach and it just makes you feel bad, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Emily can do a little bit of rice now, but I mean, things will change. Hopefully, I know that there's a lot of people who have had their stomach stretched, and even after, what is it, 6 years of my bypass, my stomach had stretched. So I had not gained any weight back. I'd had a baby in the meantime. I hadn't gained any weight back, but I wasn't losing anything. And so my stomach went from like 8 ounces to like 16 ounces. And apparently with Dr. Moore, there's a special type of suture that he uses that really precludes that, or precludes
doesn't allow the stomach to expand anymore.
Right. So we are on our journey, and we are really focused, and all of this has enabled us to be able, we're older parents of a 4-year-old, and we want to be around, and we want to enjoy time with her. We want to have these trips and memories, and we want to be able to get out and play with her, and that's really been a main driving force. I mean, we had found out like right before Ben went in for surgery that he was pre-diabetic. So we were knocking on the door of him needing medication to control basically the diet that he was eating. And I mean, that was a little bit of my fault too, because I was still cooking for them the way I cooked when I was so heavy. But that's all I knew. I've grown up Southern. What can I say?
Well, God led us as a family through this, and didn't let us down. And we're blessed. And it was a hell of an opportunity that we had to do this. We took it, and we're on the other side of it now. We got a whole lot more prepping stuff to go through, and with our raised beds and our vegetables and our chickens, and we want you to go along with us. So that's about all we have for this video. I appreciate your time. Appreciate Mary Beth doing it with me, and we'll see what we can come up with next. Thank you very much, and God bless.